Hello everyone, my name is Quad and welcome to the second video in the series of showcasing all the Warframes and their signature weapons. Today's Warframe is Wisp, a very easy to use support Warframe, and her signature weapon, Fulmin. We'll first go over our Warframe Wisp, first how to get her, then her abilities, what to focus on when modding her, and so on. And after that we will continue with her signature weapon, Fulmin, and at the end we will also talk a bit about her lore, but not too dilly-dally. Let's start with Wisp. To get Wisp, you will first have to do the Ropa Lowlist assassination mission, which you will unlock after completing the Chimera prologue. After you complete that, the assassination mission will become playable on Jupiter. The whole mission is quite hard to do for the first time you go and do it, but after some time you will see how to do it and it will be quite easy. I will not show you the whole fight because it is extremely long, but I will show you the drops. The drop chance of Wisp Blueprint and Wisp's parts is on the screen right now, so there's a 100% you will get something, but you don't know what. You will have to do this mission quite a couple of times because of this. Luckily, the parts do not require any special resources you shouldn't have in abundance as well, which is also great. Maybe Hexanon, but you know, it is what it is. If you don't have enough of it, just play some survival on Jupiter and you should get a lot of it. At this point I should mention that Wisp does have a Prime variant as well, which we will take a look at a bit later, but to let you know right now, she receives a slight upgrade to her armor, shields, and sprint speed, plus has an additional Naramon polarity. But again, we will first go over the normal Wisp. If you look at the normal Wisp at rank 30, you can see that she has a very low amount of health and shields, but she has a decent amount of armor and quite a lot of energy capacity. Of course, you can also increase these stats with mods as you wish later on, but if we take a look at her mod slots as well, she will have a Naramon polarity aura slot and 2 mod slot polarities, one Vazarin and one Madurai. But that is not that important really. What is important are her abilities. Wisp's passive ability is that she is not visible to the enemies while being airborne. You can see the effect of being invisible by a lot of energy particles. The invisibility while airborne, however, does not mean that she will not be invisible all the time. The invisibility will break if you shoot or have a hard landing. If you do a quick go off the ground though, she will remain invisible, so you can bullet jump. But yeah, let's now go to the second ability, which is called Reservoir. This ability will allow you to place down little reservoirs or modes by holding the first ability button. The second modes work in a range, which you can see on the ground with a circle around them. Anyone who goes inside the circle will be given one of 3 possible buffs, which you will have to choose by placing down your modes. To switch between the modes, you will have to click the ability button, the one you will place is on the left, and to place them you will have to hold the ability button, so yeah, just press and hold. If a person leaves the circle of the modes, he will have a buff still on for some time. You can see how long it is in the upper right corner, but yeah, you don't have to be in the circle all the time, so that is great. But yeah, let's now go and look at the 3 mode types. The first mode type we will take a look at is the Vitality mode, which will increase and regenerate your health. This is quite straightforward, plop it down, and you're golden. Because of this mode, Wisp doesn't really need any health mods since it will increase her health and health regeneration a lot. But yeah, let's continue to the second mode. The second mode is called the Haste mode, which will increase the speed of all your movement actions and your fire rate. Great to use with some extremely slow weapons or ones that you want to shoot extremely fast with. And you know, it also is good for making the whole team quicker. Anyways though, if we continue to the third mode, it is the Shock mode, which will shock the enemies around you and crowd control them. This is great for defense missions since the enemies will not be able to attack the defense target that quickly, but it also can be hindering since if you shock the enemies far away from the defense objective, then you know, they will be moving to you a lot slower, so yeah, don't shock them. You can only place 6 modes at one time and they will stay in that place until you place more than 6. After that they will disappear in the order of their placement, so if I place the 7th mode, one will disappear and I will still have 6. Because of this, it's good to have 2 of each all the time. But yeah, this ability is one of the best support abilities in the game in my opinion, especially for static gameplay, like defense, excavation, and so on. The Reservoir ability also has an augment mod called the Fused Reservoir, which will make you place down all the reservoirs at once at the cost of 200% energy, or if we translate it, at 33% discount in energy, since you only need to place it down once and not 3 times. Anyways though, let's go to the second ability. Wil-o-wisp is an ability that will confuse enemies and will let you travel around very quickly. There are 2 ways to use it. The first way is by clicking it, which will summon your double moving forward. If you click on the ability again, he will teleport in the place of the double. You will see a timer in the middle of the screen that will tell you the amount of time you have to teleport into your double. And the other way to use this ability is by holding the ability button, which will make the double move extremely fast, still forward, and by releasing the ability button, you will teleport in its place. If you just leave the timer of the ability till it ends, the double will disappear and you will not get teleported. In both ways to use the ability, that is. You will also be invulnerable for some time after using the ability, so yeah, it is quite a nice ability to have for some crowd control and a quick escape. The third ability is called Breach Surge, which will do a bunch of things. First off, it will blind enemies in range for quite some time. Besides that, there will also be a chance of a little particle effect spewing out of the enemy each time you shoot at them. The energy particles will hone towards the nearest enemy and will deal at least 2 times or more damage to them. It depends on how you mod it. Besides this, the Breach Surge ability also has an ability to teleport to a moat from extremely long range when you see this symbol. When you teleport to it, you will cast the Breach Surge ability automatically with an increase in range of the surge of 2 times. So yeah, you will cover a much larger area. This ability also has an augment mod called Critical Surge, which will halve the cost of you teleporting to a moat and will also increase your critical chance with all weapons you have to the max of 250%, depending on the range you travel. It is insanely fun to use since you do get the red crits or even pink crits a lot easier. But if we continue, the last ability is called Soul Gate, which will open a wormhole to the sun that will destroy the enemies in front of you. This ability will drain energy at quite a quick pace, but if you want to, you can even increase it by holding your shooting button, which will greatly increase the damage you deal and also the energy you use. Oh yeah, and the damage you deal is radiation and heat, which is quite nice since it does penetrate through the enemies, providing good crowd control with radiation and a bit of heat, but this ability is actually not that good when it comes to consensus in the community. It doesn't really do a lot of damage, and the energy drain is too much. And that is it with the abilities. Let's now look at my build. The build I'm using is focused on mainly strength, some duration, and some range. It also requires 4 normal formas with an aura forma as well. It is focused on giving the best with the Reservoir ability and the modes for squad support. In addition, I did also remove the Wil-o-wisp ability in exchange with the Phantom Eyes, which strip enemy defense, so I can avoid building for corrosive status on all of my weapons. I do not use this often since I do not play Wisp a lot, but if there is a defense on the lower levels, I usually bring her for some crowd control, health regen and speed, which new players usually lack. It is fun to play the lower levels sometimes, you know, and yeah, give the newer players a little bit of that power surge so they know how the higher levels of gameplay will look like in the future. To continue, let's now look at Wisp's signature weapon, Fulmin. We will actually look at Fulmin Prime since it is the better version of the weapon, but if you want to get the normal Fulmin, you can buy a blueprint for it on the market for credits. Let's now look at the Fulmin Prime. Fulmin Prime is a weapon that has a unique ability of being a shotgun and an automatic rifle at once while using assault rifle mods. You can switch between the modes by pressing the heavy attack button while using this weapon. The main damage type it has is electricity, with some impact as well on the shotgun mode, and electricity and puncture on the automatic mode. I myself don't really use the automatic mode that much since it is not that good in my opinion, but it is great for picking off low-level enemies with precise headshots. The shotgun mode is where the bread and butter is though. I am currently using my build on Steel Path level 225 Grenier, which I will show you right away, but to let you see, it is actually slash based and can easily deal even with the stronger enemies. The build is on the screen right now and requires 6 Forma. The main focus of this build is critical chance and critical damage, plus 2 very good mods. Hunter Munitions that converts all critical attacks to slash damage with a 30% chance, and also Internal Bleeding, which has a 70% chance to apply slash damage on impact hit due to the low fire rate. I also recommend you use Terminal Velocity to increase the fall-off range of these shots. Some more details I need to mention are that these shots do travel through the enemies, so there is punch through, which means it is great for killing larger, stacked together groups. On top of that, you can also see that the ammo is rechargeable, which means you have infinite amounts of it, which is a very nice perk for a weapon for Steel Path. But yeah, anyways, when it comes to gameplay, Fulmin Prime shines especially when you first kill a couple of grunts, with the build I have, since you deal a lot more damage that way. Besides that, the gun is altogether fun and should bring you through the whole star chart on Steel Path even if you play solo. And that is it for my quick build. Of course, you don't have to replicate it verbatim, you can easily use lower ranked mods and be extremely good. Mine is over the top in any way. For the end now, as I said, we will also need to go over some lore, of which there is none, almost. What we do know is that Wisp was literally made up by an Orokin named Ballas when he dreamt of some unknown lands and huge assets. He then made her into a Warframe and boom, that is actually it. To end this video, let's see what is the next Warframe we'll take a look at. Yeah, the build doesn't really show all the names, but all of the Warframes are there. Also, I don't know which one I picked, so hopefully it's a good one with a lot of augments. Thank you for viewing this little showcase of Wisp. She is a great support Warframe with amazing assets and abilities. Her signature weapon is also an amazing shotgun and an automatic rifle at the same time, which is great for both stronger and lower level missions. I really like the idea of Wisp's augments as well, but I think that they are not the most useful. Honestly, augments need a separate mod slot to be useful in my opinion. But anyways, before I start rambling again, thank you for watching, please like, comment, share, or maybe even subscribe, and also have a very nice day. Bye guys.